All right, thanks, Jade. Let's talk about the latest on our kind of weather situation here, give you an overview. The worst of it is past us at this point, so we're going to be looking at improving conditions over the next 48 hours. Now, as you saw there in Lafitte with our shot, the water is still high, and the water's not going to come down today. It's probably going to come down more over the next couple of days as it slowly starts to retreat out. So we got Tropical Storm Ida. It is now into Mississippi. It's just near Macomb, and it's heading up towards Jackson. It's about 65 miles away from Jackson. This is heading north at 8 miles per hour, and our winds are at 45 with it, and it's lifting away from us. So we're going to see some gusty winds today, but it is nothing like what we saw last night or yesterday evening or through the afternoon. So the worst of it's past us, but it's going to take some time for us to recover with the tides, with our rivers. We're still watching some things. Our impacts are certainly not over just yet. Something else we're going to be watching, is this band, this feeder band, of moisture moving up through parts down towards the coast, down towards lower Jefferson, lower Lafourche, and going into eastern St. Bernard and up to Mississippi. You can see on the north shore, the circulation is just north of you, not very far. It's just across the border here. That's Kentwood, that's Amite, that's Hammond. This is going to be lifting away from you, so not a lot of heavy rainfall anymore on the north shore today. But here south of the lake, we've still got some of those showers and storms down here closer to the coast. So we were originally watching this band, but I do think for the most part this band is going to stay out of the New Orleans metro, and we're probably not going to have to deal with it too much. That's the way it looks right now. But of course, we'll make sure there's no changes there. On the Mississippi coast, still getting hammered with heavy rainfall. That's going to be mainly over in Jackson County and then off towards the east of there. And then behind the thing, you've just got winds wrapping around to the north, and it is still pretty breezy. So that's the problem we're still facing at this point, is our rivers and the tides, and they're connected together. As the tides stay high, the rivers aren't going to be able to drain. They're backing up because we have a strong southerly wind. That's that storm surge that we are going to continue to see for today. So as long as that continues, as long as we see our winds staying pretty breezy, we're not going to see any big relief or big changes, or dramatic changes, I should say, in our tides. We'll slowly start to see the water come down over the next couple of days, but it may take about Wednesday before we see conditions back to normal and getting back to normal with our lake and with our inundation. So what we're just talking about in Lafitte, still way on up there. That includes up towards Crown Point, and it's going to take some time for that to drain on out. Now, winds have really improved across the area. They continue to weaken as Ida's lifting to the north. We're only gusting to 28 at Kenner. We just showed you the live shot as mentioned. It is not too active out there. There is even a little sunshine peeking out. We're gusting to 20 at the lakefront, 22 Grand Isle. And notice how a lot of our sites are not reporting. That's because they're either knocked offline or they were damaged. Either one of those is possible. Thibodaux is reporting. It's reporting an 18-mile-per-hour wind, so not too bad there. And notice it is still pretty breezy out towards our coastal areas. Shell Beach still gusting to nearly 40. That is moving away from Shell Beach, though, so it's not pushing any additional water into the Shell Beach area. Gulfport gusting to 35. The east bank of Plaquemines Parish is seeing improvements because the water's pushing away, but the west bank of Plaquemines is still pretty high. And a lot of people have been messaging me and asking, why can't we get updates on Lower Plaquemines Parish? It's hard to get down there right now. There's too much inundation to go drive a car down there. So it's going to take some time. These hardest hit areas are usually the last areas we really know a lot about. That goes that way in every single hurricane. The hardest hit areas are the hardest ones to get to. It takes longer to figure out the information. You've got to be patient with it. I know it's frustrating and you want to know what's happening down here if you've got property or if you know a loved one who's down here. But we will get there. We will get the information. It just takes a little bit longer because the impacts were more significant and there was more damage done down here. The water is still pretty high as well. As we just showed you, the water is still all the way up into parts of Lower Jefferson, through Barataria Bay, up towards Jean Lafitte, Crown Point, Lafitte, in that area. So it's going to take a little time for this to go down. When will it go down? Well, not until these winds weaken, and they're still pretty strong. This is a stout, persistent southerly wind to kind of southwesterly wind, so the water is going to stay pretty high. The North Shore rivers are going to stay pretty high through today and tomorrow. By Wednesday, Thursday, they should start to decrease, and the same thing over in St. John Parish. We're still working to get a lot of information for St. John. We've been trying to get Meg that direction, but she's run into quite a few obstacles, of course, with all the damage. So she's making her way there. We're hoping to get there. We're hoping to get some information out of the St. John LaPlace area after what was a pretty rough night for a lot of people and watching those tides really come up towards the lake. So let's talk about the 7-day forecast here. We are going to be looking at a hot week. We're not going to have power. I'm not sure anyone has power at this point unless you have a generator. But it is going to be a hot one. It is going to be a humid one. Temperatures will be in the upper 80s today, but if you've been outside, it is so sticky outside. It's post-tropical system. You got southerly winds. It just feels nasty. 60% chance of showers and storms. That'll be mainly from New Orleans towards the coast. North Shore, I don't think you're going to see a lot more rain today. And the same thing for Houma, Thibodeau, and those areas. You may see a shower or two, but it's not going to be like anything yesterday. Tomorrow, 91, still a few storms around. Wednesday, 92, a 30% chance of rain. And notice the trend. Our chance of rain is going to continue to go down through the end of the work week. 91s, though, it's still going to be hot. So we're going to have to be careful. There's going to be a lot of people out and about working in this heat. So we're going to have to start talking about that, and you just got to be careful in it. The only thing that might help us is, yes, it's going to be around 91, but we're going to get a little drier air in here. And hopefully we get enough dry air to where it takes kind of that oppressiveness out of the air. And we'll be looking at, yes, hot temperatures, but instead of feeling 110, maybe it only feels around 95 or so. So overall, not looking too bad across the area as we go through the remainder of the work week.